Okay, hey, so how's it, guys? And welcome to this week's EllAstrology's live stream. Now, for this week, I'm going to be talking about moon signs. Now, if most of you don't know your moon sign, it might be a good idea to just go and check on Google, just look for like a random astrology chart generator website and just check out what your moon sign is, because to know what I'm going to be talking about, you just need to know what your moon sign is. Okay, so the next thing I'm going to be talking about is just the houses of the moon. So in order to see what house your sign is in, you'll see that the chart will have 12 little sections that it's broken up into. The first section starts on the left-hand side where there's a line, and most of your chart generators will basically have it numbered, but each house will have its own number. So it starts by 1, goes all the way around. If you have a look at this chart over here, you'll see that this is where the first house starts, and then it goes all the way around, and that's basically where the 12th house would be. Okay, so if your moon is in the first house, you'll be quite protective. You'll be a very protective person of your identity, of your loved ones, and just of yourself. So yeah, it's quite interesting. These people, they also tend to really show their emotions a lot because they are quite protective of their emotions. So whenever they are feeling something, they'll make sure that, the people around them know that, and they just want to make sure that everything they have is protected. Because it is in the first house, which is the house that represents Aries. So it's quite like got a lot of the Aries traits in it. Okay, then the second house is going to be, if you have your moon in the second house, you'll be quite concerned with your financial situation. You'll be quite concerned with, how much money you have, how much money you're making. It will be quite a daily motivator in your life, and you'll usually try and work hard to have lots of material things and lots of success materially. The second house is basically representative of Taurus. Okay, so the next one is going to be the third house. These people like to collect facts, and they like to get as much knowledge as they like, as they're able to. These people tend to make really good journalists because they gain knowledge from basically every single topic that they can find, and they have lots of different, pieces of knowledge from all the different topics, and they're just very, inquisitive people. And yeah, that is the third house for your moon. Okay, then the next one will be the fourth house. Now, the fourth house is representative of the house of Cancer. So if your moon is in the fourth house, you'll have lots of Cancer qualities as well. You'll be quite domesticated, you'll love your family, you'll love your home life, and you won't like any disruptions in your family life or in your home life. And you just really, really value, your family and the people around you and your comfort and your security and that kind of thing. Okay, so then the next one will be the fifth house. Now, people with the moon in the fifth house, I've noticed they tend to really love children, because the fifth house is the house of Leo, and these people, they're quite extravagant, and they've got lots of love to give. So these people, when they have children, they make really good mothers, they make really good fathers, and they just have a very big tendency towards like having big families and just connecting and having good relationships with their children, because a mother-child or a father-child relationship is a very good representation of, the kind of energy and love that Leo loves to feel. They love to feel that unconditional love and appreciation that a mother or a parent and a child would feel for their, their child. So yeah, it's quite an interesting aspect to have. So they tend to have lots of kids, and they're quite flamboyant, and they love to buy expensive things, and they can sometimes end up in quite bad financial situations because they just like to have nice things and buy nice things, and they never really, think it through first, and they just want to have it. Okay, so if your moon is in the sixth house, You'll be quite concerned with your health. You'll be quite concerned with fitness and that kind of thing. So you'll be quite obsessed with, you know, eating properly, following a good exercise routine. You'll probably be quite prone to having some kind of specific diet. I know lots of people with their moon in the sixth house that, you know, they prefer to be vegan because it's healthier for them, or maybe to go onto the paleo diet, or even the Banting diet, or any kind of like, you know, healthy eating habits for the body. They'll be really into that. So it's quite interesting. And these people, they also tend to have quite weak systems. That's why they tend to try and be as healthy as possible. They can get sick quite easily, and they're quite influenced negatively by things like drugs and alcohol. So it's best if your moon is in the sixth house that you be very, very careful with these kind of things, because it can affect you, you know, a lot more than what it will affect other people, because your nervous system is a lot more sensitive because it is in the house of Virgo. So then the next one is going to be the seventh house. Now, people with their moon in the seventh house, they can be quite dependent on having a partner in their life. They love to be in a relationship, and they really function a lot better in a relationship. They're not very self-reliant people. They can really be joined to the hip with their partner because they literally depend on their partner for everything when it comes to their emotions. And yeah, I don't know if you guys know any people that always kind of have to be with somebody, you know, and connected with somebody in order to feel happy. These people could possibly have their moon in the seventh house, which is the house of Libra. So that will give them a lot of strong Libra influences. I know Libra people also, they're very happy when they're in a partnership, basically. Okay, great. So I hope that you found the house, Nikki, because yeah, the house is quite interesting. It's got its own little interpretation apart from the actual sign that the moon is in, which is quite interesting. Okay, so the next house I'm going to talk about is the eighth house, which is basically, if your moon is in the eighth house, you'll have very strong emotions like a Scorpio moon will have. You'll be quite prone to being jealous, to being a bit suspicious. You'll need a lot of emotional security, a lot of reassurance in your relationships, and just like generally in your life, because you'll kind of be skeptic and suspicious of almost everything that happens in your life. So it's quite a hectic placement to have for the moon. If you know anybody with the moon in the eighth house, just be aware they need lots of reassurance, and they just need lots of security, because they can tend to feel insecure quite easily, you know, in any situation. Okay, then the next house I'm going to talk about is the ninth house, which is, if you have your moon in the ninth house, you will have quite a desire to study, to travel, to learn more, to kind of broaden your horizons and to expand yourself. But you'll be quite the procrastinator. You'll tend to struggle to actually manifest these dreams. So I actually have my moon in the ninth house, so it's quite interesting. I can kind of relate to this. I really want to, like, you know, do a lot of things like travel, learn different languages, learn about more religions and that kind of thing. But I never actually get to these things. I'm always procrastinating. I'm always saying, oh, but I can't really do it because of this and because of that. Now, people with their moon in the ninth house, they're a lot like that. They've got lots of ideas and they've got lots of dreams and things they want to do, but they find it really hard to actually do them. Okay, great. Then the 10th house is the house that is usually associated with lots of people that are, you know, public figures. So lots of famous people, I've noticed, they have their moon in the 10th house. Reason for that is because these people have a very good ability to interact with large groups of people, and they just know, you know, what a large group of people would want. They're really good with, you know, a big audience. So you'll find that people with this placement. They can be, you know, very big leaders in organizations, or they could even just be famous people with a very big influence on people, because they tend to just emotionally, you know, drive the people around them. It's quite a strong position to have, a 10th house moon. Okay, then the next one is going to be the 11th house, and that is basically the house of Aquarius. So if your moon is in the 11th house, then you really enjoy being involved with friends, chatting with other people, and just being, you know, in a group. You love getting to know more people, meeting more people, that kind of thing. And if your moon is in the 11th house, you just basically strive when you're, you know, in a social setting and when you're around people. You're not very comfortable when you're alone. That's quite an interesting aspect to have. It's quite opposite to, you know, something like, say, a moon in, for example, the fifth, no, sorry, not the fifth house, the fourth house, that where there would be more, you know, they'll tend to stay more at home, they'll be a bit more introverted and that kind of thing. Okay, then the last house I'm going to talk about is the 12th house, and that is going to wrap it up for this week's video. Then I will catch you guys again next week. So the 12th house is basically the house of Pisces, and if your moon is in the 12th house, you will need to spend a lot of time on your own, and basically, you know, looking inside yourself. You'll have to spend a lot of time in introspection. These people will find lots of benefits out of meditation, because it'll help them really look inside themselves. But somebody with a 12th house moon, they can't, you know, constantly be socializing, constantly be busy. They really have to take time out to kind of process their emotions and just kind of, you know, gather themselves and that kind of thing. And also because they feel a lot of things, like a person with a 12th house moon will be a lot like a person, you know, with a Pisces moon. They feel a lot of things, so they kind of need to take some time out to just kind of, you know, reflect on what they're feeling and to just actually process what's going on and that kind of thing. Okay, great, guys. So that is it for this week's live stream. I hope you guys enjoyed it. And then, yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope you guys have a very great week ahead of you. And yeah, stay positive, stay blessed, and just spread love to everyone around you. Okay, cheers, guys.